Hello, everyone. Thank you all for attending this session today. My name is Anna Argueta, and I am the Senior Program Manager for the Direct Community Investments Department at the Latino Economic Development Center, or LEDC for short. My colleague Manuel Pacheco will be joining us today as well. He's a Senior Program Associate at DCI as well. So this is a hybrid informational session. So for people attending in person, we have this going on live stream as well. This presentation is going to be recorded and it's going to be posted on our website, and also the PowerPoint slides will also be posted on our website. Our website is ledcmetro.org. So we have a great lineup for today's session. If you have any questions for people who are attending online virtually, please feel free to drop them in the Q&A chat. And then for people attending in person, we will hold off questions till the end of the presentation. So we're going to be discussing Montgomery County Small Business Rental Assistance Program, Phase 2. Phase 1 was a success, so we're here back for Phase 2. LADC was a grant administrator for Phase 1, and we're back for Phase 2 as well. So we're glad to be back working with Montgomery County. Today, we will be going over the eligibility requirements, how to apply, when the application portal opens and when it will close. But before we start that, we do have a guest speaker. I wanted to go ahead and introduce Mr. Mark Elrich will be joining us today, who is the Montgomery County Executive. He will go ahead and say a few remarks. Mr. Elrich.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. And I know that some of you gathered at our Innovation Center there in Silver Spring, and some of you are doing what I'm doing, which is joining by Zoom and working online. And welcome to all of you for coming here today. We are all survivors of the pandemic, and we are trying to move forward, and we're also trying to make sure particularly out of the work you'll be hearing about today, that we can help assist businesses further in their recovery from the effects of the pandemic. At some point, I look forward to actually meeting you one day in person. But right now, I know you're going to be learning about the second round of small business rental assistance that we're offering to qualified retail businesses, and you're learning about it, here in these, whether you're in person there or virtually present. We know the last 2 years have been tough on everybody. All of you have had to endure COVID. It has no doubt created problems for your business. I can't think of anybody who went through COVID doing things as they had done them before COVID. So we know how stressful and how adaptive you've had to been to get through this. COVID's disrupted the way all of you do business, and it certainly changed life for all of us, our fellow workers and our families. It's altered, your supply chains. It's altered your access to workers. So we're all well aware of what those challenges are. And even in the county government, we suffer from the same things: worker shortage, people not being excited about coming back to work. Things we need aren't always readily in supply, or the prices have gone up. So we're dealing with some of the same things that you struggle with. I'm really happy that you've been able to survive through these difficult times, because your work is important. Particularly the small businesses help drive the economy in Montgomery County. Your purchases support other merchants, your wages support your workers. Your workers, consume things from our stores and they pay rent. Your survival means that you're paying rent, and that goes to somebody who's paying a mortgage. And so there's, a lot of symbiotic things between all of us in this coming out of COVID stage, or at least coming out of the worst of COVID stage. We're committed to making any resources we have available to you as you move forward. This program is funded through the federal ARPA funds. And if you meet the criteria that the feds and the county legislation set forth, that you're going to be hearing about a little bit later, I encourage you to apply for the money. To get these funds to you as quickly as possible, we're able to cooperate with our partners, LEDC. They not only have experience with the first round of the program, but work with small businesses of all types throughout the year and pre-COVID to assist them with business planning and finance. And I know they're about to explain the details of the program. I just wanted to thank you for everything you do and to wish you luck as you move forward, and to encourage you to reach out to my office if you have questions or need help, not only about this program, but with any other needs that you have. Use Montgomery County Business Center email address, which is businesscenter@montgomerycountymd.gov. That email goes directly to staff members in my office. So I'll say it again, businesscenter@montgomerycountymd.gov. So thank you all in LDC for their partnership with this program, and to Teresa, Nadia, and others in our office who are working with LEDC to help them get these funds to you. We are here to help. We're trying to make sure that the federal money goes out expeditiously to everybody who's eligible. And I wish you luck with your applications and continued success in Montgomery County. So I will hang on for a little bit, and I'm going to go to another meeting, but I'm interested to hear what some of you have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Elrich. So now Darius is going to go ahead and join us, and he's going to talk a little bit about the Montgomery County Business Center.
Thanks, Anna. Good afternoon, everyone. Here at the Silver Spring Innovation Center and online. We're so excited to host you today. I'm going to go over a little bit of what business advancement team does basically at the county executive office. This team in particular was established by the current county executive. This is, again, another testament that the county executive is focused on businesses. If you would like to start business in Montgomery County, if you wanted to grow businesses, you wanted to expand and things like that, this is the place basically. So that shows how focused we are in terms of creating that team. So whether you are a small business, medium size, large business, we have a whole lot of resources out there with our business partners, resource partners, and at the county level as well, we have a lot basically to be proud of, in terms of providing those supports to you guys so that you thrive and we all, sort of celebrate the success together. Who are these business advancement team members, basically? Just in case you, like I said, you wanted to start a business or you wanted to expand the business that you're operating right now. And there are times when you don't know who to contact, basically. You may have some question, but you don't know who to reach out to and things like that. These are the people that are working day in and day out in terms of helping small businesses in the county. We have two people that are the face of the county, our great Nadia Kalut and Danielle. Nadia is here with us today. She is the small business navigator. She is, for the most part, on the ground. You get to see her, most of the time, while we are behind the scenes guys, basically, managing the grants and things like that. So, with any question that you may have, you don't know who to go to, again, feel free to reach out to any one of us, particularly Nadia. Like I said, she is on the ground all the time with you guys, and take advantage of that. And the other person is Daniel. Daniel is stationed in Silver Spring. He's a business liaison for the county. Again, another face of the county. Reach out to him with any questions. And if he can't answer the question, he can route it to the right department, to the right people, so that your questions can get addressed on time. The second category is Ruth Simple and Richard Cisneros. Those two guys, those two individuals basically manage our incubators, the innovation centers. We have 3 innovation centers in the county. One is in Germantown, another one is in Rockville, a third one is this one in Silver Spring. So any question that you may have, as far as innovation centers go, incubators go, these are the guys that could help you basically. And the third category, myself and Stephanie. Stephanie manages the contracts, any contract that we administer at the business advancement team level. Stephanie managed it. And myself, I manage some of the economic development programs. That includes SBIR as an example. SBIR is a matching grant where businesses that engage in research and development, particularly in medicine, biotechnology, life science, those are the businesses that we encourage basically to come into Montgomery County, and we offer a whole lot of financial service, financial support, and there are technical supports that we offer to those guys as well. The other economic development program we offer is MOVE. MOVE is basically if a business wants to relocate to Montgomery County, it could be from another county, it could be from another state, could be from overseas for that matter, actually. We do offer financial assistance for those businesses as well. As an example, what we do is if a business decides to come to Montgomery County, we offer $8 per square feet if that business gets its first commercial lease. That is a sort of thank you to those businesses basically to come into the county, create more jobs and things like that. And the other piece is rental assistance, the program that we're talking about. I oversee this program as well. So this is technically for retail establishment businesses, which is you, that have been going through a whole lot of ups and downs during this COVID, like the county executive talked about. So we want you to take advantage of this program, and we really, want to help you throughout the process from today all the way until the application portal closes. So take advantage of that. To mention few names that oversee the business advancement team, like I said, this is the priority of the county executive. And that is why we are in the county executive office, so that we have more visibility as far as what we do in terms of providing the support that businesses need. So, the county executive talked about, obviously, so I'm not going to repeat the introduction. And there's another person that oversees the economic development and the business advancement activities. His name is Jake, and he's the Assistant Chief Administrative Officer. And Judy Costello is our boss currently. We're reporting to her. She's a special project manager, and she oversees the economic development, business innovation, and other sort of special projects. We don't do the things that I talked about by ourselves. We have a whole lot of business partners or resource partners out there. Some of those are, as an example, MCDC, Montgomery County Economic Development Corporation. These are the guys that are actually on the ground, walking all businesses that want to start in county or want to relocate in the county, basically. So they help them with technical assistance. They provide a whole lot of things, and take advantage of those resources. The county pays. There's nothing that you have to pay as business owners, but we do offer those resources out there, and take advantage of them. The other resource partner is the LEDC, Latino Economic Development Corporation, or Center. So these guys, again, they do offer access to capital if you want. They do offer macro lending. They do administer the program that we talked about, which is the rental assistance. And they do provide technical assistance for businesses. Any question that you may have, these are the guys that you could go to with no fee to you guys, basically, the county, finance, all this. And the other business partners or resource partner is the Maryland Women's Business Center. They do provide pretty much the same services. And finally, the University of Maryland SBDC. Those are the guys that are, like I said, day in and day out on the ground helping. All you need to do is know, what are the questions, and reach out to them directly so that you can take advantage of the resources you have out there. Finally, like I said, if you wanted to start a business or you wanted to expand your business and you don't know where to start, you don't know where to go, you don't know which department you wanted to reach out, no worries. The business advancement team is here for you. All you have to do is shoot an email. We're a phone call away if you want to. 2 people for now, but everyone on team is willing to help for that matter. So my phone number is 240-777-8864, or you could use actually an email, so that once we get those emails, depending on your questions, your questions get routed to different departments or people that could answer your questions. So use again the email that the county executive talked about, businesscenter@montgomerycountymd.gov. I'm going to give you my card as well, by the time we finish the meeting. But again, the bottom line is we're here for you guys, and we're phone calls away. Help us help you so that the county thrives and we celebrate all together. Thank you.
Thank you, Doris. So for those who are attending online, please feel free to drop any questions in the Q&A chat. We will be saving those questions for the end of the presentation. And same thing for people in person, we'll answer the questions at the end. And then also just to remind people online that the slides will be posted on our website as well. So before we get into the program, I did want to discuss who DCI is. So DCI, once again, Direct Community Investments Department, we're at LEDC. Basically, we partner with government entities and private donors to rapidly deploy financial assistance to vulnerable families and small, the slide changed on me. Oh, there we go, sorry. To vulnerable families and small businesses. The department was born due to COVID-19. And as I mentioned earlier, DCI was the grant administrator for phase 1, and we are back for phase 2. So now let's discuss what we're here for, which is SBRA phase 2. So one thing I wanted to start is that the eligibility, the program itself is very similar to phase 1, just some things have changed a little bit, but the program will provide grants to small businesses in the retail and service related industries to help support rental costs, which include current and overdue rent payments. The grant is intended to mitigate the injury experienced by Montgomery County businesses as a result of the pandemic. Businesses can receive up to $10,000 in rental assistance or 3 months of rent, whichever is less. But I do want to note that even though if you do apply, doesn't mean you will receive a reward. And some important dates to note, which are on the screen as well. The application will open September 1st at 11 a.m. and it will close on September 30th at 5 p.m. So the portal right now is not open. So if you go on our website, you won't see that. It's going to go live on September 1st. But one thing to really note is as soon as the portal does close at 5 p.m., we will not be taking any more applications. So as soon as the portal does open up, I highly encourage you all to go ahead and apply. And then obviously the next thing we want to know is like, when will I know like if I received an award or not? That would happen in November. So we do need time to go ahead and review applications, make sure everyone has a thorough review. But in the meantime, obviously, like if there's any questions, you can definitely reach out to us. The next thing I wanted to discuss are the eligibility requirements for the program. So like I mentioned earlier, the program itself, the eligibility requirements are pretty much the same with an exception of certain things that have changed. So the first thing I do want to note that there are some businesses that are ineligible, which are restaurants, food service, medical practices, professional services, religious organizations, and daycare businesses are ineligible, unfortunately. And these are per Montgomery County guidelines. Also, another thing to note, if you were a recipient from phase 1 of the SBRA program, you're unfortunately ineligible for this phase in order to receive any other funds from the SBRA program. And one thing that we do want to highlight, if you did apply during phase 1 and you did not receive funding due to depletion of funds, you will receive priority for phase 2. So if you take a look at the screen or the slides for people who are online, we included a short list of the eligible business types, but this is not the full list. So just to name a few, art supply stores, bookstores, nail salons, and pharmacies are some of the eligible business types. But if you want to know the full list, which is a little bit longer, you can definitely visit the link included in the PowerPoint presentation. And then next thing you all want to know is like, obviously, where does your business have to be located to be eligible? So the businesses must have a physical location in Montgomery County, or it can be a county-based location that must account for more than 50% of the business total number of employees. Or finally, it has to also be a Montgomery-based location, which has to account for more than 50% of the business gross sales. Another thing to note is that a business must have an active commercial lease in Montgomery County. So if you actually own it, since this is a rental assistance program, you won't be eligible to partake in this program. And then finally, businesses must have received revenue of $500,000 or less in annual revenue in 2019. A revenue loss due to COVID-19 will be determined by a standardized program formula based analysis of the financial data and records provided as part of the application. But obviously there's the list of eligibility guidelines a little bit more extensive. If you want to take a look at the full eligibility guidelines list, please visit the link on the slide. And now I'll have my colleague Manuel go ahead and go over the business documentation and resources.
Thank you, Anna. I want to go ahead and once again, thank you all for being here with us today, and to remind those of you joining us online to please send us your questions through the Q&A feature through Zoom, and we'll go through these questions at the end of the presentation. Before we get started, I want to just go down and say that I'll first start by defining each of our requirements, and then I'll go over on how we can obtain 2 from our main 5 documents that you will need to process your application. All right, so let's get started. Starting over here on the left side of this table and at the very top, we have our 2019 tax returns. What do we mean by this? We are looking to see a full version of your 2019 taxes with a clear view of your EIN number, so your business's EIN. The same applies for the year 2020, or you may submit a 2020 yearly income statement. Then we have our articles of organization, our proof of good standing, and our commercial lease. Or in this case, also you may upload a landlord affidavit in the event your lease does not reflect current terms. Lastly, our last 2 requirements, we have the payroll roster and the foreign entity registration. These are considered to be special, and the payroll roster is only required if you're trying to meet that geographic requirement for eligibility. And lastly, the foreign entity registration only applies to those businesses established outside of the state of Maryland. Now, as mentioned, I'll show you how to obtain 2 of these documents, the articles of organization and the proof of good standing, and we'll do this through and thanks to the Maryland Business Express. For those of you who are not familiar with the Maryland Business Express, it essentially works as a one-stop shop for all your business compliance needs. You may visit the portal by accessing the link at the bottom of this slide. And I highly encourage you to save this to your browser in the event you need to reach out to the state or you need resources further down the road for your business. Okay, so once we're on the site, we'll want to search by our business entity name or business legal name. Once we hit search, we'll be given a list of options. From those options, we'll select our desired business, and we'll be immediately shown with the proof of good standing. Right, what we want to do at this point is to take a screen cap, we'll save it to our computer, and we'll use it in the proof of good standing section in the application when the application opens. Similarly, without having to go anywhere else, we just head over to the tab on the right called Filing History, and this is where we'll find our articles of organization. We'll click on the link, we'll download this document to our computer, and we'll have it saved and ready to go for when the application opens. And before I move on into the application and the process, I want to emphasize that this application has been designed to provide all applicants with a customized experience based on unique business circumstances. And if you're still unsure as to what documents you need to upload, our team will be there to assist you every step of the way. So before we can apply, we'll need to register. The link to the application will be listed on the program site, as I said at the bottom of this slide, starting September 1st. To register, all we need is an email address. We'll go to the applications link, we'll register our email address, and then we'll receive an email, which is what we'll use to set up our secure password. Once we're registered, what should we expect from the portal? As mentioned earlier, the application has been tailored to provide you a customized experience. So we understand that no 2 businesses are the same. So you will receive a personalized list of documents that you will need to upload. Okay. 2, you'll have the ability to save the application in phases. What this means is that you won't have to start from scratch if you do decide that you need additional time to gather documentation. And you're also not rushed to finish everything at once. And most importantly, you'll have a direct access to our bilingual staff at any time, whether it's about your application or about the process in general. And this will be done through the built-in chat feature. We also want to remind you to please save the link to the application portal, since this will be the main way for us to communicate with you about application corrections, or if we want to update you on the status of your application. Now let's look directly at the application itself. The application is comprised of 3 different parts. We have the eligibility section, we have the document procurement section, and then we have the submission phase. During the eligibility section, you'll be asked to answer some basic questions about your business, and our application portal will determine if your business fits the program criteria. The document procurement part will be the phase in which you receive the list of documents, and you will gather this documentation and save it to your computer and have it ready for when the application is ready to go. And lastly, we have the submission phase. Again, you can reach out to us at any point. This is where you will upload all your documents and input certain data about your business, like the financial information. And finally, I just have a few things that I want you all to remember. Please, the application deadline is going to be September 30th at 5 p.m. Our team will do its best to assist you so that you can submit your application before the deadline. The application link will be listed starting September 1st on the application site. You may also copy the shortened version of the address here on the right, and send us your questions at sbra@ledcmetro.org if you know of any other businesses who may be eligible for this program. And if you have any questions about today's presentation at any point, and perhaps you have lost your credentials to log in, you can reach us by email directly, and we'll be sure to assist you as soon as we can. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Manuel. So now we will go ahead and take questions. I believe some questions Nadia went ahead and answered in the chat box. We'll definitely read over those in person, so you all that are attending as a person can take a look at them. So if for people who are attending online, if you want to go ahead and drop the questions in the Q&A chat, please feel free to do so. But before we start tackling these questions, I do want to open it up to anybody in the room. Does anybody have any questions? Yes.
Do nonprofits also qualify for this, or is it just for small businesses?
The question is, do nonprofits qualify for this? Do you want to go ahead and answer?
So the program is primarily tailored to assist businesses in the retail sector and service-related industries. So unfortunately, nonprofit organizations would not be eligible.
Does anybody else have any questions in person?
Food related companies, they're not eligible.
Yeah. So the question was, are food-related companies not eligible? And the answer is no. Unfortunately, food services businesses are not eligible for this program.
Well, I do have a question.
Yes.
I do have the business in Howard County, and I also have one in Montgomery County. Would that affect any eligibility?
The question is, if you have a business in Montgomery County and then one in Howard County, does that affect eligibility?
They're both the same thing. They're just one office takes clients in Howard County, one office takes there, but they're both the same service. There's no difference.
This is the same company?
Yeah, same company. We just started off
Okay,
in
fantastic.
Howard, and then we found another office in Columbia that we like. I mean, in Silver Springs, so we just started to take.
Separate lease, right?
No, just
Lease, it's not the same company.
same company.
But lease.
Oh, well, I mean, it's
Yeah.
different, but the same company, the same landlord, the same, he owns both buildings. That's how we did it.
So as long as you have a commercial lease, right, in Montgomery County, you would be eligible. So there are certain ways in which you can meet that geographic criteria. One of those, which was the payroll roster, right? That speaks about the number of employees and staff members that you have at the company that is located, the physical location that falls within Montgomery County boundaries.
They're both physical locations.
Okay.
So we have to focus on Montgomery County so that you will have to have at least 50% of your revenue or number of employees here in the county. So that's what you would have to prove in order to meet the eligibility criteria.
Employees meaning my husband and I,
Yeah.
I'm just making sure,
So
because
yeah,
we are the
if
employees.
you are,
Mhm. Yes.
Okay.
Does anybody else have any other questions?
Any general questions? We have a few from
from the chat.
the chat. Yeah.
Okay, so some people asked in the chat and some people asked in the Q&A. So first question, is this program just for retail businesses or for services businesses? You have to be a retail service to be eligible. The link was included for online participants. Let's see.
I have one here that says, if we're not sure whether our business was awarded for phase 1, who should we ask? You can reach us at directly at LEDC. So sbra@ledcmetro.org.
Then another question we received was, is it true each business is only qualified to receive this grant once? How do we confirm if my business has received it? So this is true. You can, you're only eligible to receive this grant once. So basically on our end, well, you would have, if you receive funding, you would know, but on our end, if you try to apply in the portal, like it will automatically tell you that you have already received funding in the past.
But you guys have the priority criteria from phase 1.
Yeah, and to also mention that if you apply during phase 1, you have the priority criteria for that. And then the following question, so families without a company article are not eligible. So all entity types are eligible, so proprietorships, etc. are eligible. Then following question we received. Looking. This one. Sorry, taking a look at the Q&A chat.
So somebody asked, if I am married and filing jointly, so my taxes include my spouse's private income as well as mine, can the Schedule C be submitted instead of the entire tax return? Your Schedule C is part of your tax returns. So we want to see the entire and complete version of your taxes. If you're taking a picture, please be sure that these are clear pictures. But yes, and we'll be in touch with you. So it's important that you save that link to the portal so that we can get a hold of you and ask for corrections if needed.
So there's the phase 1, our priorities. Is there somewhere there where I would be able to see the awarded grant amount? So just to see more information of
So
how likelihood that we would be considered, or what would be considered priority even with the priority. So say that the priorities got the funding, now they're going to the phase 2 people. What are more, are we even allowed to know what are some of the requirements that they're looking for that would choose them over other recipients?
So the eligibility requirements are still the same. They
Still the
just
same
have,
thing,
yeah,
as they're
they only have that like consideration because they were approved in phase 1, but they still have the same eligibility requirements. So for some reason, if in phase 2 something has changed and if they don't have an active lease, for example, anymore with Montgomery County, they would not be eligible. So same eligibility requirements are for them as well.
Okay. Now the rental assistance, is this also affect those that have been put behind because of the COVID? Or does it have to be up to date with their rent? I'm asking because of the way how it's presented at rental assistance. It sounds to me like only those that are behind.
Yeah, so this program is because came out because of the pandemic. So that's why, like, if you like on the screen, we were mentioning years like 2019. So it would be like on that time period we're taking a look at. So we're not really taking a look at current information. It would be from that time period. So
I think what she's asking is the fact if, as part of the application, does a business owner need to be behind on their rent to be eligible for this or not? And the answer is no.
Oh, no, yeah.
You're not looking at that. So as long as you have active lease, that's what.
Right, from 2019, right?
No, lease has to be.
Oh,
Lease
right,
has to
no,
be
right, right.
Yeah.
Right, you mentioned 2019.
Oh, like taxes,
Right,
yeah.
okay, yes.
Financials.
we got
Mhm.
it.
And the other question is on the first come, first served piece. I want you not to be discouraged. Apply because the funding, we have twice as much money as we did last year.
Okay,
Last year, we dispersed close to $1 million. This time, we have $2 million. So we want you to take advantage of this.
Okay.
And do this better.
So somebody asked,
Oh, go ahead.
if I have two offices in Montgomery County for the same business, do you have to do two applications? No, it is only one application. It is one application per EIN.
Yes.
If you were, if I have applied previously for a different Montgomery County grant, which was the renovations up to $4,000 I was given, I believe, in 2020, 2021. Did you still apply for this program?
Let me repeat that question here. So the question was if you applied for a different Montgomery County grant, would you still be eligible to apply for this grant?
You're fine.
So yes, you can go ahead and apply.
Somebody asked in the chat here, can a C corporation company apply? Yes, a C corporation can apply.
Another question that was asked, if no restaurants qualify, the answer is no to that.
I noticed that it said retail and services. Is that retail and services must be combined, so you have to sell products as well, or retail or services?
Retail services.
Retail services establishes. A little bit more detail on that, even if you don't see it, but you
Mhm.
know that you do fall into that. But it's not listing it, but it's still considered retail services.
Again, I submit your application, we'll
Mhm.
look at your situation. We'll
Mhm.
speak with you and learn about your specific circumstance and
Mhm.
what your business model looks like.
Okay,
So it could be eligible. So please
Yeah.
enter.
great.
Does anybody have any questions more in person?
Somebody asked, what piece of the financial information should I submit to ensure that I meet the 500,000 revenue eligibility? We'll be looking at your 2019 and 2020 taxes. We're particularly looking at the yearly gross income.
It's asking if a sublease document would qualify.
A sublease,
The question was if a sublease document would qualify.
so if your lease does not reflect current terms, you're subleasing from somebody else, then we will need to have approval from the parties that are listed on the official lease. This is mainly for people who have the lease, so it is likely that you may not be eligible because you're subleasing. You're not the main leaseholder. You need to be the main leaseholder for the business. But we're happy to look at your situation again. Somebody asked, is there another way to get those two requirements besides the Maryland Business Express? You may certainly get these documents mailed to you, I believe, but the quickest way is to go to the Maryland Business Express. It is free if you have internet connection.
And they can just do the screenshot. They necessarily don't need to purchase the certificate. or
Correct.
the stamp.
So something that was mentioned, not sure if you, people who are attending online, is that you can also take a screenshot as well.
Do you guys have can you email this to us?
We're gonna post it on our website at lavcmetro.org.
You got the email on the screen?
It's
I
gonna be on the.
yeah.
on LABC.
We'll have a closing page full of information
Yeah.
that you need to contact us.
Yeah.
And if they struggle with the good standing as well, so they won't be disqualified because of that. What we suggest is LEDC has an inbuilt communication, like live chat. So if you struggle, all you have to do is reach out to them. They can help you with that.
Oh, we have a live chat?
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
recommendation.
Do you
Yeah.
guys have our contact information?
Yes, so if you have any questions to contact us, the email would be sbra@ledcmetro.org.
That's the one, that's the verification code when we got signed up for this class, right?
Mm,
Let me see.
yeah, I believe so.
We'll share then on the next
Yeah.
slide, the reminders, and it includes the email to talk to us if you have not yet created an application. If you have an application, you can simply use the chat feature.
Oh, that's cool.
Not only LEDC, again, I can't
Mhm.
stress this enough, use us at the county as well. Our email is out there, telephone number, we want you to take advantage of this.
Ma'am?
If I do, I have been in my office for 11 years, but I do direct selling, like, I receive 1099 and I do also retail sales, but I do 1099 and I do my taxes through 1099. Do you have to have the business license and number for it? Because I only have the sales license for instead of that, signs that use my social security. To get paid, register and all my.
We will not be asking for a business license. No.
As a sole proprietor, you are able to apply.
Because I have a physical address because I see people there and I have been having that. But right now, my landlord, I've been there 11 years, but he will not renew my lease unless I pay all the areas, the rent that.
When did your lease expire?
It expired 2021.
Expired already? So you don't have an active one?
I'm paying month to month, you will send me the rent ledger. Yeah, of what I am, showing with, and so we renew it after I pay what I'm behind otherwise. So I make some kind of payment arrangement
So if,
with them. But still.
well, you would need an addendum, right? Or at least renewal. We will need to talk to your landlord and see what your specific situation looks like. If you don't have a lease that has been renewed, then that means that you don't have a lease. Your lease ended in the year that you mentioned, 2021. If you're being charged for services that you are not legally receiving, which is the legal occupancy of that space, then you shouldn't be paying for that. So it really depends. So I encourage you to talk to us. If you want to share your email with me, at the end of this presentation, I'll be happy to assist you moving forward.
Yes, because I have been trying to negotiate with that, because my office was closed for services for almost a year, or 8 months.
But you will need to have an active lease. We will need to contact your landlord. We need to figure out that and ensure that your lease is active and you still hold legal possession of that space.
Before I answer any other questions, is there any overall general questions? If you people who are attending in person, if you guys have like specific questions to like your business, we can answer that. It's only because like people online can't hear you guys. So is there any overall general questions that you all may have?
So I have read on the whole thing. So it's either $10,000 or it's 3 months, or so say because I'm doing 2 leases, because the first lease doesn't equal up to 10,000. Can I include that second lease because I'm Hispanic?
So the question is, if you have 2 applications with 2 different leases, what does the award look like? If there is 1 application per EIN, so if you have 2 companies with their unique employer identification numbers, then you will have 2 applications, right? The award amount is 3 months of rent or $10,000, whichever is less.
I got that.
Right.
So I could do 2 applications.
If you have 2 different companies.
So it would be 2 LLCs.
If you 2 companies are LLCs, yes.
Okay.
Any other overall general questions? And I believe that's all the questions we have for the online chat. Any other questions, please feel free to email us at sbra@ledcmetro.org.
You gonna put on it?
Yeah, I'm about to change the slide right now. So 3 things that I wanted to highlight again. Application deadline is Friday, September 30th at 5 p.m. And then the portal link is going to be the second one here. But that right now the portal is not active. It'll be active on September 1st at 11 a.m. And then the questions, you all wanted that email, which is sbra@ledcmetro.org.
Is the slash,
I will switch back to the slide in 1 second. And then for those attending online, I just wanted to thank you guys, and I'll go ahead and end this.